It's the Wall Street Weekly Wrap-Up, November 9th, 2024, with your host, John Newquist, and it was the best week of the year. In fact, the best week in 2 years. And I hope you were involved in the stock market. It was a hell of a week. Not a lot of news other than an election, which would seem to be the news all week, but wow, it was a pretty good week. People are excited. No controversy. Election was easily decided. No riots. Everybody liked the calmness of the election. May not like the results, but let's go into the stocks. Novo Nordisk, well, you know, I thought it good. 23%. It's pretty good. Alzheimer prevention, possibly. I think it's pretty good. Ozempic up 26%. Wegovy up 81%. Wow. Yeah, it's down. Look at this. It's like a ski slope down. But, you know, we're not going to lose this stock because it's one of the best stocks in the market for GLP-1s, which is the great weight loss success. You know, Lilly's coming down too. And you think, well, when do you want to buy Lilly? I mean, we got this. We got Amgen. We got other ones in there. But this is our core holding for our GLP-1s. This is the company that's doing well. A lot of positive news. So we're going to stay with Novo Nordisk. It's in our portfolio. Some people have Lilly. That's good too. I'm not going to say anything bad about Lilly. Bitcoin, oh my God. It hit 77,000. It closed, if Bitcoin ever closes, you know, I'm going to say, when I did this, $76,000. Look at it. It's a new high. A brand new high. Wow. What a day. And, you know, if you go back in the Wayback Machine, around about January, it was around about 45,000. That's a hell of an increase. And if you were with us when it was down to 18,000, you've made some money. People are going to think about, well, how high can it go? Well, you know, I just heard Tom Lee on Fundstrat. You know, he was calling for 150 Bitcoin. I don't think that's going to happen. But could it get 100,000 by the end of the year? Maybe. Maybe. You know, the rationality of markets is never surprising, you know. The market, oh my God, look at the NASDAQ, 28%. S&P, boom, that's what we are. We are there to beat the S&P. We're about 7% last quarter, so we probably are in the 30 percentile. You know what? I watched one of the big hedge fund managers talk about everything else, and he was up 3%, 5% this year. That's embarrassing. You could put your money in the bonds and make 5%. You lost 20%. You lost the equivalent of 2.5 years of gains when you got 5% as a portfolio billionaire manager. That's embarrassing. Here we don't sit there and charge these fees. We're out there to make the money. I watch it. I got people talking about hot stocks. I have access to a lot of information. And, you know, like I said, it's a good year. This is going to be back to back, if it holds, 25% years to years. Doesn't matter. That's a hell of a gain. 50% in 2 years, that's a hell of a gain. Not many people better than that are diversified like we are. Remember, you can bet it all on NVIDIA, and that'd be a different animal. You know, I bought 3 stocks, and I'm beating the hell out of you. Well, good. Go buy 40 and see if you can do it, you know. Indicators, well, you know, interest rate got cut 25% by the feds, and the rates go up because everybody's thinking there's a problem with the debt. They're looking at it. Oil coming down. Everybody's waiting to see the response to Israel on Iran. You know, is there truth that certain leaders hinted that they ought to go take out Iran? Well, I hope not, because now we're asking for a big war. You know, and we don't know what'll go. I mean, this is how it starts. You know, tit for tat, tit for tat. Somebody's got to say stop. You know, natural gas futures. It's going to be a little bit more expensive than it was last year when it was under $2. Gold's up to 2,700, a little back down there, same as silver. Copper's, boy, I tell you, I'm surprised copper isn't under 40 with the kind of the economy underneath Europe and Asia, kind of like slow. I put up the wheat chart because, you know, the grains are just like a big cyclical stock. Okay, it's harvest season, a lot of wetness, grains are low. Oh, it's going to be a good dry summer. Well, it chips up, and then, of course, it was an excellent harvest, as always. So if you want to play a cyclical market, get in your corn, grain, wheat, soybean, and everything else. And, you know, $6 wheat is what I always tell people is pretty normal. $4 corn and $8 soybean. You know, you kind of, when it gets crazy above each one of those numbers, then not a bad thing if you're into the buying it. course, the election, 7,400 people bought the red stocks, and 70 million bought the blue stocks, which is, 74 million is a record. And but like I said, it looks like it might be all the red side. But what was popular is the financials. Well, why? Because consumers are going to get a lot of inflation break. That's the hope. Hope. We got hope. And they're not going to bother people about those fees. They're going to get off the banks, and not so bad. So banks, look at this. XLF, the financial, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, both did this. You can just pull the chart up. It just jumped. We're in a channel. Hold on, Alexa.
This is a reminder. Sit there and ask about Bitcoin.
I did talk about Bitcoin. Alexa, stop.
This is a reminder. Sit there and ask about Bitcoin.
I just talked about Bitcoin. If you were listening, you wouldn't ask me about that. But it jumped. Holy smokes, Costco, I mean, we got our great ones. We got our Amazon and we got our Walmart for our retailers. And man, I tell you, retail's tough. Costco's another one. They keep on talking about the hot dog. And I'm not a member of Costco. There's nothing nearby me for Costco. I'm not going to drive $35 to try to save more money. I know people are doing it. They're going to my town. They go 30 miles, go over to shop at Costco and say, I saved all the money. But, 2 hours of your time driving and shopping over there, I don't know if it's worth it. But somebody thinks it's worth it. But look at this. I mean, sales are up. That's the big thing. Look at this. Sales up 7.2%. It's in the channel. I love this slope, though. It's nice. You go to Costco. Okay, let's say beginning of the year you bought it at $6.50. Wow, that's not a bad gain. Not quite 50%, but man, that's pretty good gain. Much better than the S&P 500. That's how strong the S&P 500 is. RIVN, I like RIVN. I like the electronic car manufacturer, and we knew they're going to retool the line to make it more productive and more efficient. So the revenues fell because they're not going to make so much, and they made 10,000 vehicles, which is good. Remember, they got the Amazon vehicles, and Amazon's not getting smaller at all. They're going to be competing against the post office pretty soon. You'll be going over to an Amazon delivery center and sending the package, and it'll be there next day. Something the post office can't do. But, we watch the trend lines and stuff, and it's been down. Generally when it breaks low of a trend line, we don't want to be in it. So we're watching RIVN and we're looking at it. If we're into it, we're going to enter in like 10% and over a period of 10 months. We're not. You got to get some positiveness. We got to get something positive. The 200-day moving average is higher than any of the 50 or the 20, and we just don't want to be in a stock that it's below. It's still trending below. We want to see it come up, Yeah, we could make more money if it went to 10 to 12, but I'd rather be at 13, and it's kind of trending up instead of being at a stock where it's just been going down and going down. And yeah, the bottom looks like about 9-ish, DraftKings, I was watching the CEO. I thought it was pretty funny. He says, we missed the revenues and lower next year revenues, and he's talking about, these people are winning on DraftKings and we didn't make so much money. Well, that's good. Let's finally see the casino lose some money. That's not so bad. Revenues are up, though. So, I just look at it, 60 cents loss. That's huge. That's just bad. I mean, you can do it. I mean, it's $40. Yeah, you could have got it 28, but I could say go back down to 28 just as well as go up to $50. They got to make money something. Oh, no, we're trying to get all the states. We're lobbying. We spend all the money. That's true, but, boy, you're not making money. You're just burning cash, and that is not good, ABNB, it's been a negative trend for a long time, and it's coming close to breaking the trend. Remember, our 200-day moving average is still just like the other chart. It's higher than the 50 and the 20. We want to get it better. We want to see it cross. We want to see the 50-day cross above the 200, and then we might want to buy it. Remember, we want to buy it when it's got some confirmation. Yes, they made earnings of $2.12 a share. That's great, but look at this. It's only growing 10%, and that doesn't really excite me for something that's, could be better. And like I said, housing is expensive, and hotels, they're competitive. Tough industry. Fed, Powell, said he can't get fired, which I thought was interesting. I don't know what that rule is. And nobody quoted the rule that said he can't get fired, but he just said, I can't get fired. It's against federal law. Well, guess who's in charge of Congress? You know, the red side. You know, they may not like that rule. I don't think he's doing bad. Oh,
This is a reminder. Do DraftKings.
oh, Alexa, stop. I like
This is a
DraftKings.
reminder. Do DraftKings.
Do DraftKings. I will. I just think one bet on the mixed martial arts. So, large deficit, full employment, that's expected to continue. And if we don't deal with this issue, I've said it many times, the economy is unsustainable for this path. The debt to GDP is huge. We're over 1. We've been over 1 for a long time. And you know, either you deal with it or you grow the revenues to put it down, but it ain't going to happen. I just sit there. There could be hyperinflation. We go to the Weimar Republic. I mean, I studied that Weimar Republic for a long time. You know, that's why everybody thinks of inflation. The rates aren't going down. We have to get it down. And I don't know if there's political will. You know, I watch these other countries and I start thinking, man, we're like that. We just got to have it collapse and go in there. I hope that people can try to cut spending and cut it, but you can't cut taxes and then say, well, geez, we got no revenue to make it up. You can't grow them that fast. So this is not good. And, you know, I looked at this, man, and we thought this was kind of high, 70%. Jesus, way up there now. Transports are a sector of the 14 sectors. I like the transport. They don't make a transport section for the official 11 stuff. Yet there's Dow Transport and the Dow Theory. Use it all the time. And
This is a reminder. Talk about the S&P 500 at 7,000.
oh yeah, well it hit 6,000 today.
This is a reminder.
Alexa, stop.
Talk about the S&P
Doesn't listen.
500 at 7,000.
You know, it's at 6,000. I was watching Tom Lee. He thinks it can get to 7,000 at the end of the year. Okay, that's, you know, a little bit about 13% jump. That's a pretty fast jump. I mean, it's a year's worth of gain since 6 weeks. I don't think so. I mean, if I was going to say, okay, we're at 6,000 now, is it going to get 7? No, I don't think it will. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, never underestimate it. But remember, I'm looking at a correction from now to January 20th of 5 to 20%. And that's just based on my model. I don't know if it'll come, you know, but I am pretty confident. So I don't think it's going to happen. And remember, when people panic, it gets ugly. It gets ugly, especially when the market's lofty. People want to lock in the profits. And sooner or later, someone's going to say, I got to take the money now because I had a hell of a year this year. I had a hell of a year last year. Now, we're going to say, of course, we're going to stick on stocks that are good. But the transports, boy, look at this. You know, if you just bought the index, the IYT, Transport Index 66, it's up 10%. Okay, that's the index. Let's go to Matrix. You know, go over here. It's about 110 at the beginning of the year, right around here, 120, up almost 30%. You know, up to 160. And they got a dividend. Look at 34 cents. Pretty good, nice pop. Look at this jump that the transports are doing. And then Ryder, you know, they do what I always think people, you know, people think of Ryder rental trucks. Yeah, that's part of it. But they do a lot of stuff with supply management and delivery and everything else. And look at this. You know, you would have bought this at the beginning of the year. You'd have been right about here, maybe 120-ish. I can't even read over here, but now it's 160. That's why I said this market jump is wide and stuff. And Ryder, we have the top 10 food companies and everything in our fleet management and transportation system. Not the bottom 20, the top 10. So it's not bad. The heat map this week, again, you're not going to see too many weeks like this. It is high and a lot of green. You know, it's not like triple digits and stuff. You know, Tesla went up 29% because, you know, Elon's going to ride the red wave and everything else. But, you know, I mean, he's going to be in a cabinet. He's going to cut. He's already working 120 hours a week. What he's going to do, just take some, you know, stimulants and just not go to sleep. I mean, I don't think, you know, that's good, but, you know, I'm not Elon, so. But look at it, a lot of green, well, solid breath. Yes, the pharmaceuticals are a little bit tough this week. Utilities, a little too tough this week, but, you know, we're diversified, and we did good, and you should be doing good. And I'll see you next week. It's a short show. Have a good week, safe weekend, stay warm. Bye.